Hello, guys. Welcome to Pink Sock Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Usnick. The intro is kind of fucking up, so let's try this one more time. Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Pink Sock Podcast. Sorry about that intro. I hit the intro button and it didn't fucking work. But today we are live on YouTube, and I decided to try something new. We might have viewers on Facebook. I'm trying this on the Facebook. And I am also joined, like usual, by my co-host, Tony. This is going to be an interesting episode because, as I told Tony, yeah, I've been drowsy. Today I'm all right. But I also have a case of the shits. So this is going to be a fun episode. Probably shitty. No, I've been all right the last couple hours. So we'll see how this goes.
This episode's going to go from 0 to G.G. Allen really quick.
Yes, it will. I would also like to give a shout out to our Patreons. We've got today the thing's messing up. So bear with me on this. The overlays aren't working. So I'd like to give a shout out to our, there they are, to our loyal Patreons, Garak, Hot Amy, Gloria, and David Dowdle. To become a Patreon, you could visit patreon.com/official Mike Usnick. I think going live on two things was a bad idea because some of the stuff is not working quick. Also, you can become a loyal Pink Socketeer by going on the Patreon. You can pay $1 a month, and we'll give you a big shout out on our show. If you pay $5 per month, we will give you a shout out on the show, a personally typed out thank you letter, and first dibs on fan selected topics. And if you pay $10 a month, it'll be pretty much the same thing as the $5, except you get a scheduled one-on-one private chat with us and a VIP access to the backstage area, which we haven't really been able to do lately because people's been busy.
It'll happen.
And more announcements next week. You ready for the guest next week?
Yeah, sure.
The Rat, David Rattenberry, will be joining us next week on Pink Sock Podcast.
Another fellow guitar player.
Another fellow guitar player. We get to learn a lot about him, his time playing with Ryan Roxy, and much more. However, he doesn't have anything to talk about when it comes to porn or anything like that. So he wasn't in any movies or anything. So what have you been up to, brother?
I watched the Ozzy Osbourne documentary last night on the 40th anniversary of the Blizzard.
That was an amazing. I saw it twice. What did you think?
I thought it was fantastic, and it was a real tearjerker in a couple of parts.
It was very sad. I like how they covered everything. Let's say
I started getting really sad around the Randy Rhoads part, and then I got really, really depressed around the part where he started riding the four-wheeler. I'm like, oh, I know where this is going.
I forgot that was actually televised.
Yeah, man. I think it was part of the Osbournes, wasn't it?
It was. I completely forgot about that. I thought it was like something that happened in private, but no, it was televised.
I said, oh, fuck. And then Felicia looks over at me. She's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, you're not going to like what's going to happen.
Ozzy almost died.
It's like, this is what starts his whole curve of going downhill. It all started from that.
Yeah, he wasn't right ever since.
No.
Oh, hi, Hannah. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Robin. Thank you for joining us, Sheena. I'm trying something new today. We're live on Facebook too, just to see how it goes.
Oh,
Give us more of a platform.
intro was kind of wonky, but it worked.
It was. I hit the button and it just didn't pop up like it was supposed to. It's live. Shit happens.
I know that all too well.
So today I kind of had select topics for the show. I don't. Hold on. I was wanting to talk about like trending things a little bit. Ron Jeremy's been trending. I don't know if we talked about him last episode or not.
What about him raping all them women?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Ron Jeremy, man, he's the topic of discussion right now. He's looking at, I forget how many years in jail. Once this shit loads, I think he's looking at 25 years in jail. Is what I thought I read. I don't think that's life.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 67. That's life.
Oh, yeah, he's going to die in prison. Unless he gets, paroled out early. I don't know.
He faces 20 additional sexual assault charges on top of what he already had.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I was never really a fan of the dude. He's a legend in the industry and all, but
I've never seen
when this came out, I'm like, well, I mean, he does fuck for a living, so
I never really watched any of his films. I've never seen any of his fucking films.
I don't have the desire.
No, I'm not into watching warthogs make love. I don't know about you. But...
fucking Kuna Matata shit going on in them videos.
But yeah, he's not. I don't think he's gonna get out.
No, he's gonna die in there just like Cosby, and that's fucking. I mean, as much of a horrible human being as Cosby apparently turned out to be, I still think it's sad.
Have you ever had the curiosity to watch his films though? Sheena's like, I've never seen them, but have you ever had the curiosity to watch any of Ron Jeremy's porn just to
no
see what?
Because the only thing that would ever come out is like, oh, he has a big one, and I'm like, cool, good to know. Moving on.
but I heard he can suck his own.
I thought that was Marilyn Manson, or is that a rumor?
No, that was a rumor. Manson said in an interview if he could, he wouldn't be a musician.
I mean, if I could, I probably wouldn't leave the house.
I wouldn't. I would not. No.
Wouldn't leave the house or wouldn't do it? There's the question.
I wouldn't leave I wouldn't finish in my own mouth. No,
just recycle it.
That begs to.
That's the true circle of life.
That begs the question, though: is it gay to swallow your own?
Probably not.
Yeah, it's a shame Bill Cosby won't get out, but it's also a shame that he did what he did.
And that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, I mean, I loved his comedy, but like, Jesus Christ, I even wanted to deny it until 20 of them, 30 of them, fucking 50. How I'm like, geez, this guy likes raping women just as much as I like McDonald's. Holy shit,
he loves it. Like it makes you wonder why people like to ruin other people's lives. And Bill Cosby used to joke about it, and people just ignored it.
Right. Well, I mean, they would just see it as oh, that's just a bit he's doing.
Yeah, true. But the way he told it though seemed kind of like it actually happened. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could kind of lean that with the Louis C.K. thing. He always joked about jerking off in front of people until he actually fucking did it.
That's why I wasn't that shocked about it.
And then he was just standing there, like, I told you I do that.
I don't know. Louis C.K. though, the thing with Louis and then the thing with Cosby, the way they told the joke, they told it as if they were doing it, not as a joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it wasn't that surprising when it came out and they did it.
It's like Bill Cosby was joking about, roofing chicks, and
On
then
the part that had me confused was he did it on Larry King, and Larry King was like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about." Nobody's questioning Larry King.
right, all them Hollywood elites are like that, man. You can't tell me they ain't. Why do you think Tom Hanks is going over to Greece to be a fucking citizen now? That Jeffrey Epstein flight log is coming out, and he's like, "I better get out of here,
See ya.
or I'll have another bad accident in a movie somewhere." Because that's
So
all his movies are anymore.
I saw this article, us both being men, a friend of mine sent this to me, said that it's trending right now, and they wanted our thoughts on this. It's the
Hmm.
title of it is 19 Things Women Wish They Didn't Have to Explain to Men During Sex. Let's dig into this. The first one, if a girl says don't stop, for the love of God, don't stop. Don't do anything differently than what you're doing when she says don't stop. Don't slow down, speed up, go harder. Just do what you're exactly doing. Now, that might be true, but more communication during it would be helpful. Because when people say don't stop, that means don't stop doing it. It doesn't explain stop doing what. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do an article of things women shouldn't need explained.
Oh, let's not go there.
Well, some of these are just crazy, like make noise. This isn't your mom's basement. I mean, I make noise anyway, but there's been so many times I was with a woman and it was like fucking a corpse.
It's like, I make noise, but that's because I'm out of shape.
Wheezing and shit. Okay, this one I've never known any guy ever to be upset about. Now, the women that are listening are like, "Yeah, I've had men." I've not heard about this. Don't get upset if a girl starts playing with herself when having sex.
Say that again.
One of the women said, "Don't get upset if a woman starts playing with herself during sex." I've never known that to be an issue. I've never known any guy that was upset about that.
Whatever gets you there, man. Whatever.
Whatever gets us at the end of this.
Yeah, whatever gets to the finish line is all I worry about.
Like some of these are just fucking weird. Um, have lube handy. Well, no shit. There's so many articles like this though that people make. They're like, what women need to know during sex, what guys need to know during sex. The fact of the matter is every man and woman is different. Just because you've had shitty partners, don't mean they all are shitty.
Yeah, it's like I'm a legend in my own mind.
Until you get there, and then you're like breathing heavily and
yeah. Then you're like, man, I really need to lay off the Cheetos.
See, that's the thing where comedy, I don't believe in censoring comedy at all. I don't believe in like telling people they can and cannot say certain things because comedy is subjective. But it also sucks when comedians make jokes and about stuff they're actually doing and the victims hear it and hear people laughing and know that they will not be believed because it's a comedian.
That's a fair point.
Like where like you can't really draw the line on comedy because comedy's subjective. Like I've brought up George Carlin many times. He joked about some fucked up shit, none of which that I'm aware of he did.
So Richard Pryor.
Yeah, but when they talked about it though, they talked about it as a out of body thing. It wasn't them that did it, or it wasn't an actual occurrence.
Yeah.
Like they would make up scenarios. With comedians like Bill Cosby and Louis C.K., it was about them. So that makes you wonder: is there some truth in what some comedians say about themselves?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Dave Chappelle's joked about some fucked up stuff.
Yes, he has. But a lot of the fucked up stuff that he's joked about, some of it was about him, but a lot of it was like about other people.
Right.
Like him making fun of other people. And that's different than saying, hey, I went out and drugged a woman and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird environment we live in because we mention it and some people sway one way or another. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I just wish there was more dialogue, not dialogue about the whole thing, because it shouldn't be something that you should be in fear of your own life for telling what happens,
No,
telling people what happened.
yeah,
Like if it happened to you, like,
yeah.
you
But
know,
also on the same coin, people with messed up sense of humor that doesn't mean any harm. Because I've said some fucked up shit in my life.
we
Uh,
all have.
they shouldn't be punished for something they said if they didn't actually do it. If it was funny at the time, you know what I mean? Because comedy's subjective and comedy evolves. There's shit that people said years ago that was funny then, but due to an environment change, it's not funny anymore.
Right.
So should they be punished for something they said years ago if
That's
they
like
didn't actually do it?
dude. That's like that's kind of like the Kevin Hart thing, because Kevin Hart was supposed to do the Oscars that one year. What was it, like 2018? And
Yes.
then he had to cancel because him getting in backlash over some tweet he made like 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So like, here's where I stand on that. If a comedian or anybody truly in general, really,
Mm-hmm.
if they say something so far ago, like, here's where the line was, and you step up to the line with what you're saying, and it's acceptable back then to say stuff like that.
But the line changes.
The line changes, and then you don't go there anymore. You don't go that far anymore. You stay within the line of what's acceptable. You shouldn't be getting in trouble for when it was acceptable now.
That and people evolve. Certain people evolve and people change who they are.
That's like, this cancel culture is good slash bad. Like, there's like,
And we have the balls to start a show called Pink Sock Podcast.
I don't care. What are they gonna do? Cancel us?
We can't be canceled. We don't even
3 days ago, Australia finally officially canceled South Park.
other countries cancel things due to weird reasons.
South Park's been trying to get canceled. Let's be fair.
Yeah, they've been attempting for cancellation since they started.
Like, the last episode I remember was Jesus and Santa both doing rails of coke together. And I don't know about you, but that probably pissed a lot of people off.
I'm starting to think though Seth MacFarlane has been trying to get Family Guy canceled because he's always said that he don't want to do it past a certain season. That's why he killed
Dude,
Brian.
I'll tell you 2 episodes that I thought Family Guy was like legit going to be canceled.
Uh-huh.
And they're both racist points too. So in context, don't get mad at me. This is what was on the cartoon. It's not what I mean. When Peter was doing crack,
Yeah.
and then Brian found it, and he's like, "Where'd you get crack?" He's like, "From Black's
That
hardware store." And I was like, "Dude, like, you can't say that shit."
and the episode I Need a Jew.
No, or the one where Jerome was staying with them, the black dude who used to be Lois's ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time. And Peter was trying to get him out of the house, so he tried scaring him by dressing up as a spooky ghost, but it was a legit KKK outfit. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, I can't believe they're putting this on TV.
I think they're trying to get canceled. Now, there are moments in the past where people shouldn't have said things even back then or done things back then. Like Howard Stern, for instance, he's under a lot of fire for some fucked up shit he said on a show, which is no surprise to me.
Howard Stern?
Yeah.
You don't say. The man who starred in the movie Private Parts.
Yeah, he's getting in trouble now for blackface. And I'm like,
Man,
there's a
dude,
lot.
that blackface thing, I don't know what to think about it. I think
Sometimes they go too far though. Like, yeah, it's racist to wear blackface, but it's also kind of screwy when you go after the Golden Girls for wearing charcoal masks in the 1970s.
or the Robert Downey Jr. bit in Tropic Thunder.
True.
If you truly understand what they were aiming for, you'd get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't racist. It was just them making fun of Hollywood in general.
Yeah. Yeah. And now they're getting rid of like certain characters can only be played by that race and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what are they going to do with the Simpsons? Or what are they going to do with Scooby Doo? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man.
There's so many cartoons where races are played by different people. Children are played by adults.
Remember they were trying to cancel. They were trying to cancel the Simpsons over Apu.
Yeah, and it succeeded to an extent.
Yeah, he's not on the show anymore, is he?
He's not, but it wasn't the whole cancel him thing that got him off the show. The guy that played the character agreed with their viewpoints, and he canceled it himself. The show didn't cancel it. He just refused to play the character anymore.
That's fucking weird because like he knew it. He's been playing that dude for however long.
Well, Hank, what's his name? Hank, whatever. He plays in that show where he plays that retired announcer. Have you seen that show?
Mm-hmm.
He is Jewish.
Mm.
So
Okay.
he's like half. I think he's half Middle Eastern or something.
Yeah, Cleveland's voice on Family Guy is done by a white dude.
Yep.
Yeah, same dude who voices Herbert the Pervert.
Yep. Herbert the Pervert is played by the same guy. And also, ever play that old game Pajama Sam with that little kid and you had to click and shit?
Yeah.
That's voiced by the same person that voiced Bobby on King of the Hill, who is a woman.
Can we just take a time to acknowledge the fact that we have a cartoon on TV on regular time featuring a pedophile and
Right.
nothing is said about it?
Right. Well, did you hear the argument about it?
I'd love to hear it because it's not a good one.
People are now saying that it's not as bad as everything else because it doesn't come out and say that he rapes children or is a pedophile. They just suggest it. And
It's heavily implied.
it's heavily implied. Come over to my house. I got some popsicles in my shower. That's heavily implied.
Yeah, it's about as heavily implied as Quagmire pulling anal beads from the side screen, being like, "We know what's happening. The kids don't, but we do." Come on.
How is that show on regular television? It used to be on Adult Swim. Remember those days?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same Adult Swim that has fucking Mr. Pickles on it now.
That's a good show.
It's terrifying the first time you see it, though, because you're like, holy shit, they put this on Adult Swim?
Isn't it in this time slot that Metalocalypse used to be on?
Yeah, because so it's like that time slot to where if you're a kid, like a little bitty 5-year-old kid or whatever, waking up in the middle of the night, you're looking over at the TV and like, oh, what the hell?
What the hell's going on with that doggy? Would you say it's as fucked up as Happy Tree Friends?
What, Mr. Pickles?
Yeah.
Mr. Pickles is way worse.
But Happy Tree Friends is like, it looks like a kid show, and then shit happens.
I'd say they're almost on par.
There is a valid point. Stewie does mention in an episode that there's a pedophile down the street and nobody does anything about it.
Yeah.
But
no one brings that up. Like, dude, if they really tried, they can get Family Guy canceled like fucking tomorrow if they really wanted to over the Pervert thing, or get Herbert the Pervert taken out of the show altogether. And I wouldn't really have too much of a problem with it because I don't like that character anyways. It's
not a character you need.
No, it's not. You just need the Family Guy, the family, and then like Quagmire and all of his buddies, and that's basically it. You don't need Herbert.
Whatever happened to the Cleveland Brown show?
It didn't do so good, so I think it stopped.
Because wasn't it that Cleveland moved out of the neighborhood and then they made the Cleveland Brown show?
Yeah, the Cleveland show.
Yeah, and then they turned around and moved them back and canceled it.
Yeah, because the show didn't do that good. I mean, I thought it was a good show, but you can't compare that to Family Guy, who's already been a staple.
right? Like you can get rid of like certain characters. I'm surprised Simpsons is still going on after all these years.
Yeah, Simpsons have pretty much predicted everything bad happening.
And the guy that created Simpsons, very smart guy. The conspiracy theory came out that he could predict the future, and then he came out with Futurama.
I mean, yeah, dude, the Simpsons even predicted Trump coming down the escalator to be the president.
Yep, they predicted a lot of shit. They predicted
They've predicted Donald Trump being in a casket too. Fingers crossed.
they also predicted 9/11.
Yep.
They predicted. I think they also didn't they predict George Bush becoming president.
Mm-hmm. I still think 9/11's an inside job.
And The Simpsons was involved. Oh, I didn't see that episode. Cleveland moved back to Quahog, and Peter gave him the DVDs of the past 4 seasons. I really like his topic of the things Simpsons predicted, so I'm going to see if I could find a list of them. Because there's a lot. Yeah, I apologize to anybody listening. We don't really have much planned for this episode because I've not been feeling that great the last few days. But here's things that the Simpsons predicted. Hold on. The censorship of the Michelangelo David on season 2, episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
Letter from the Beatles. In 1991, an episode of The Simpsons saw Beatles Ringo Starr diligently answering fan mail that had been written decades ago. On September 2013, 2 Beatles fans from Essex received a reply from Paul McCartney to a letter and recording they sent to the band 50 years ago. Siegfried and Roy's tiger attack was predicted on The Simpsons. On the episode on season 5, episode 10, The Simpsons parodied entertainer Siegfried and Roy in the 1993 episode called Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling. During the episode, the magicians are mauled by a trained white tiger while performing in a casino. In 2003, they were actually attacked by a tiger.
How'd you like that crossover between Family Guy and Simpsons?
It was good. They had Bob's Burgers in there too.
Homer and Peter fighting each other.
Yeah. Here's Hannah really loved the Simpsons episode where the future Lisa says, "What have we got in the bank after President Trump?" Did you see also Back to the Future predicted the Trump presidency?
Mm-hmm.
Because they had that character Brick, I think was his name.
Biff.
Sorry, my brain's all fucking fried today. Biff, who was designed after Trump.
Yeah. And look how that worked out. We're not that far away, guys.
The Simpsons also predicted autocorrect. In season
I hate autocorrect.
In season 6, episode 8, school bullies Carney, I can't pronounce that, and Dolph make a memo to beat up Martin on a Newton device. And in the episode of The Simpsons that aired in 1994, the memo gets quickly translated to eat up Martha, an early foreshadowing of autocorrect frustrations. So their cellular device that looked like an Apple device changed it from beat up Martha to eat up Martha.
Something just came across my phone. It's talking about, remember when Dave Mustaine got sued by Dave Ellefson back in 2005?
Yeah, when
2004.
They're having issues.
Yeah, Dave Mustaine said it was like, yeah, he got his ass handed to him in public.
Oh shit!
Dude, that band's always been like tumultuous
They've always had issues.
all the time. All the time. Like, dude, Dave even said he even said if it wasn't for all the like blatant cocaine abuse and all the infighting within the band, Rust in Peace probably wouldn't have never got made.
Right? You want to know another prediction that's kind of eerie that the Simpsons had?
Hmm.
The Ebola outbreak.
They've predicted all those pandemics.
Season 9, episode 3. They predicted the Ebola outbreak. Well, Bart was sick. Marge was reading a book titled Curious George and the Ebola Virus. And this was in 1990s.
When did Ebola come out? That was
2014.
Yeah.
Now, it was first discovered in 1976, so they could have known about it, but it wasn't the worst case.
Right.
The worst case wasn't until a couple years later when it killed a bunch of people in the demonic Republic of Congo and Uganda.
So, have you looked more into like how Facebook is banning or like banning accounts that live stream?
From what I've read, I haven't read that much into it, so take this with a grain of salt. I haven't had a chance to read into it much. From what I've read, they're not banning band pages that are sharing like live videos of their own performances or of their own music.
Mm.
If they're doing covers or if they are sharing copyright material, then they're being taken down.
Good. I might lose my profile tomorrow. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I haven't read.
Check this out. As soon as I posted that video last night of me playing the Holy Wars cover, I immediately had to defend myself for fair use to Facebook. Like immediately, they took the audio down in like certain countries, like Afghanistan and like some obscure shit like that. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure they don't like listening to that music anyways. But still, fact of the matter remains is like I was comparing my profile to the record and just jamming along with it. So that's fair use, right?
I had similar happen. I posted to a group that I'm in because I learned Poison by Alice Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And you could barely hear Poison in the background. It was just my guitar playing. And they did the whole like, well, we got to take it down, but we're going to mute some of the audio. And I went back and re-listened to it. You know what they did? They put Alice Cooper's Poison over top of my playing. So you couldn't hear me playing. You just heard the song.
Yeah, it's just stupid, man. Like
I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but that's how I saw it.
Yeah, Facebook immediately hit me with that. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to totally mute your video to like certain countries because it's copyrighted material." I'm like, "Wait a minute. I'm jamming along with it. Like it's just like a comparison thing for tone." Like granted, I played the whole song and you can hear it because a phone was sitting like right next to the laptop when I was doing it. But
yeah, but
still,
who would want to steal a shitty quality MP3 offline? That's what the whole copyright issue is. They don't want people stealing the music. Well, the fact of the matter is, it's a shitty MP3 quality if you even do that.
Dude, it was a pre-recorded video that I had already had recorded. I'm not making money on that.
Right?
And I wouldn't want to.
Like, that's like YouTube hit me with several copyright shit in the beginning because we were playing other bands' music. But my thought was I got the okay to do it.
Dude, that was so stupid. Like, we had both dudes, me included, on the show, and we used both of our music from both of our bands, and then you get it and it gets taken down. Like, wait a minute, how's that work?
I found out what happened. It was the distribution company that hit me. It wasn't you guys. It was the other.
Well, because we go through DistroKid, so like what they do is they'll send an alert to Dave on an email, and then he'll just look at it and be like, approve.
I actually fought it because I'm like, listen, I'm getting a strike by the distribution company. The distribution company does not own the rights to the music. They just distribute it.
Depends on the deal.
So, no, I went on their website to make sure, and it says we do not own any rights to any of the music, and we do not control where it is played.
Oh, all right.
And they still hit me with a copyright strike from them. So I sent a long message including exactly what their website says, that I am in the right, they are in the wrong. It is up to the record company to decide, and the band, not the distribution company.
Right.
Like, why would you say on your website you're not in charge of that shit, and then you hit me with it?
Pretty much.
I love your shirt. Really good band.
The Impurity? Yeah, man, those dudes are really good. Go check them out if you get a chance. We played a show with them up at the Black Forge Coffee House up in Pittsburgh. They're really good, man.
They kick some serious asshole. Asshole. So I'll have to send you some notes about next week's guests, because I don't think you really know that much about them.
I'll learn.
We have some guests coming up, though. I do promise. We have a lot of guests planned. It's just getting them on the show.
Oh, well, I guess I could do that. They done it to me, guys. I don't want to stay on Facebook. Who's that coming in?
That is Robin. Well, I guess I can do that. They done it to me, guys. I want to stay on Facebook. I love Facebook, but we might not. This might be the only episode that is on Facebook.
I'll tell you this right now. If I get my Facebook profile removed because of the Holy Wars, like half-ass cover that I did, no love lost. I fucking hate Facebook.
The way they are saying it, though, is they're not taking down pages; they're taking down groups and pages. They're going to take down band pages if they play covers. Or I'm like, that's kind of stupid. Like,
listen, man. If we ended up say me and Dave did it, or like Psalms did it, we pay every year a little bit of money to like DistroKid to be able to play covers legally, in bars and stuff. We got that thing settled. So if we had that and then Facebook banned us off, banned our account, dude, that'd be such a shit show, because we are legally allowed to do it.
And
so I don't know if that would be. That sounds like a lawsuit to me, but
Facebook is looking at a lot of lawsuits if they actually go that route.
Between them and Live Nation, I don't know what's the harder shit show.
I also don't get it. Like, I used to go live on Facebook, and I used to go live on Instagram just singing karaoke. And I've had videos stop halfway through because of copyright. And it's just audio. It's just me singing along with instrumentals. It's not the actual song.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So, any updates on your whole, if you guys are going to have any shows before you go to Arizona?
Dude, we were trying to get that show lined up at the haunted house, and I'm still 50-50 on whether that should even happen, because let's face it, we haven't had practice except for once as a full band in like 2 months because of either this pandemic or some other outlying reasons that I don't really want to get into.
I'm really iffy about shows in general right now.
I just don't want to be the dude contributing to the problem. Right? That's where I'm at with it.
That's kind of why, like, when shows come back, I'm like, do I go or do I wait to see how it turns out?
I'll tell you this right now. Move out to Phoenix next year, and if Megadeth actually tours in 2021 like they said they're going to, I'm going hell or high water. I've been screwed out of that for 2 years in a row. I ain't getting screwed for a third.
And then that's how we die.
I'll go there wearing a mask. I don't care. Like, I'm not one of those dudes that's going to be like, oh, it's infringing on my rights and this, that, yeah, like whatever.
Sorry, but during a global pandemic, you don't have rights. Sorry. I said it. Like, you have a right. You have certain set rights. But the fact of the matter is that when you're infringing on somebody else's rights, then that's when your rights are not there anymore.
Especially where health is concerned.
Yes. Robin's talking about how she used to sing, so we'll have to keep an eye on those videos.
That'd be
But
cool.
I'm right now. I'm in a point where like we have our viewers, like they fluctuate because of people's going back to work and shit.
Hmm.
But we don't have enough viewers for certain guests, and I think that's kind of weird. That's something that I would always like to talk about. Is I don't think if I ever become like really famous, whatever, I'll be too big to be on certain shows because no matter what, you want to get your name out there to people that would not have heard of you otherwise.
Right.
Or you want to like reach people of what you're doing nowadays. Like if you're famous for something then, you want people to still know who you are. Like I reached out to older musicians and they're like, "Well, you don't have enough of a following. You're not doing much nowadays. Like, don't you want your name to still be out there?
Hmm.
Like, don't you want to I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. So what's the another topic I found? What's the weirdest animal you've ever seen?
The weirdest animal I've ever
Yeah,
seen?
the weirdest creature. I don't know if you would know it by name or what, but what's the weirdest creature you've ever seen? Or the weirdest animal you can think of?
Anteaters are pretty weird looking up
They're,
close.
they're fucking strange. I think the strangest one I've ever seen is a fucking narwhal or a platypus.
That's fair.
Did you know a
Pretty goofy looking animal.
platypus for the longest time they thought was a fake animal?
Really?
Yeah, they thought it was fucking fake. They thought it was a cryptid. Ever since I got this wired internet, though, we haven't really been lagging, which is good.
No, I think it's good, man.
It's fan fucking tastic.
I don't know how it's doing on Facebook because Facebook's like it buffers really hard on a lot of stuff.
I know. I might not even do Facebook. This is just I was trying to test the waters. So, like, I don't know. Music though, when it returns, I'm very fucking iffy about going to a show like right at the beginning.
I miss it so bad.
So do I, but would it be too soon?
If we get that vaccine, we'd be all right. You know,
Do you
if you
think
get sick, just go get the vaccine, or go get the vaccine as soon as you can.
do you think it's possible that this virus will just disappear like other ones?
I almost have a theory that as soon as this election's over, it'll fucking magically go away.
It's weird though, because it is a legit virus, because I have a friend that has it.
I know, which is weird. So I'm on the fence with it, but I mean,
I've got many friends
I
with it.
think if we got a legit administration that gave an actual fuck,
Yeah.
we'd be okay.
Yeah. I think
It would have been about like the Ebola or the H1N1, like where it's like it's bad, yeah, but like it didn't really fuck us up that bad.
well, the Ebola one wasn't as contagious.
Right. H1N1 though.
Yeah, H1N1 fucked us.
But not on this scale.
No. I think either this virus is going to stay here or it's just going to vanish because certain viruses vanish. The Spanish flu took us 2 years, but it was gone. But people were still going to sporting events and shit then, though.
That's another reason why I'm going to do my due diligence. I think it would be a good idea for me to take 2 weeks off in between working where I work at the distribution center, which is full of people, and then taking 2 weeks off and then moving out to Arizona just to give my body a little bit of buffer time to where, like, if I did go around somebody who had it, I'm not taking it across state lines with me.
Yeah.
If you feel me on that one.
Just give yourself time to make sure you don't have it.
Right. Because I think Arizona's kind of a hotbed, but it's going away. My student rep said it's getting a lot better out there. So, I mean, they went from doing all their schooling on laptops to like they're actually going back to class now. So at least there's that.
With this whole thing, there's no real right or wrong answer because with the Spanish flu, people still went out and about, but everyone wore masks.
Right. And I know the most extreme thing you could do is like
Shut down
shut
everything.
every single thing in the country down for like 3 weeks, and then start everything back up. And then like the 3 weeks would be gone. Like the 2 week incubation period would be over. You either have it or you don't. You get sick and get over it, and you'd have enough time to get over it,
Mhm.
and then we can get on with our shit.
And it just die.
Yeah, it would just die off like a really hard like quarantine, you know.
Yep.
But
Italy
nobody's gonna agree to that.
Italy did that, but theirs was they still was able to go out because you need to get food.
Well, dude, they had people delivering food to you. That's
But
the thing. But we don't have the infrastructure. Well, I mean, we do, but like with what's going on now, we ain't gonna get that shit. You know, we can't even get another stimulus check coming.
true
So,
that. So this is true. Back to the platypus.
mm,
They actually thought they stuck a bunch of animals together.
that makes sense. It does look really weird.
Yeah, but the vaccine is not reliable, and I'm sure we're going to make it through this choice like the Spanish flu,
Does
influenza.
she mean vaccine?
Yeah, vaccine. We're gonna make it through regardless, but at what cost? The
Mhm.
the vaccine, I have a feeling they're going to rush it too fast, and it's going to make things worse. Is my fear.
I had a really early theory about 3.5, 4 months ago, where I
Mhm.
was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Maybe the death toll should reach more than what we lost in World War II before everybody starts being like, you know what? Maybe this shit's actually legit.
Well, people ain't going to think
That's
that way.
450,000 people.
People ain't going to think that way though. In today's world, it's sad, but it's true.
There's people in this world that think the sun is bullshit. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world we live in.
Flat earthers, people who think the sun theory we got's just a little too easy.
We should get a flat earther on here.
Oh my God. How many science classes do you have to fail for that to even come into the realm of possibility for your half incestual ass?
What's weird is I thought the whole Earth is flat shit came back up as a joke. I did.
Dude, people legit think that stuff. Like, what do you think? We went to space and got the perfect angle every fucking time?
You never hear of the big flip.
You think when there's a fucking lunar eclipse, it's just a line across the moon?
Like,
Come on.
I don't fucking get it. But I hate to cut this short. It was a good episode. It's just I haven't really been feeling it lately.
You gotta go worship the porcelain god. It's okay.
No, actually, I feel all right that way.
Oh, that's good, dude.
I'm just really exhausted and my brain's not with it today.
Go drink a Red Bull.
Nope. No energy drinks or coffee for me today.
Go get you some of that bull jizz in your system.
But we would like to also say that David Rattenberry is going to be joining us next week. It's going to be a really
cool.
fun. It's going to be a really fun time. He's a really good dude. We also would like to give a shout out to our Patreons, Garak, Hot
You guys
Air,
are awesome.
Gloria, David. If you want to become an official Patreon, you can go on patreon.com/official Mike Usnick. And you can also pay $1. You get a big shout out. You can pay $2. You get shout out. You get first dibs on topics. And you also get a personal thank you message. And then if you pay $10, you get VIP access to the show. You just got to shoot us a message and let us know when you can do that. Anything else you want to talk about, Tony, before we get going?
Oh, no, I'm pretty good. Hannah, Robin, you guys have been awesome. Thank you for commenting.
Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you for joining us. The chat hasn't been that active today, but I blame myself because I haven't really been able to promote this week. But I appreciate you guys for still coming, and
Yeah.
I love you guys. And also thank you, Tony, for being a part of this.
Always.
I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, we're all feeling better. Thank you for tuning in, and we love you. And see you next week. Remember, live long, rock hard.